Okay, let's dive into a place that feels almost like a different planet. Imagine an island where like 9 out of every 10 plants and animals you see exist only there.
Wow.
It's not science fiction, it's Madagascar, and it's basically a living laboratory of evolution unlike anywhere else.
It really is. And it's the sheer scale of that uniqueness that really stands out in the material we're looking at today. I mean, it's the world's fourth largest island, right? Been isolated off Africa for millions of years. So life just, well, it evolved in its own extraordinary way. That isolation, like this source points out, that's the key. It's the key to everything special about Madagascar.
Exactly. So this deep dive, it's all about uncovering the magic of this incredible island. We're drawing from the source material you shared, which really explores what makes Madagascar such a unique travel spot. Our mission, basically pull out the essential bits, the insights and facts, so you walk away really understanding its allure and, what it offers.
Right. So if you've ever wondered why Madagascar, this source, it lays out some really compelling reasons. The absolute headline, like you said, is that biodiversity. It's just unparalleled.
Unparalleled almost feels like an understatement. The source really hits hard on that over 90% endemism.
Right.
Think about that creature, like the dozens of different lemur species.
And creatures.
The strange kind of slender fossa, the incredible variety of chameleons changing color, right before your eyes. And even those iconic, like, gravity-defying baobab trees, you only find them there in the wild, nowhere else.
Exactly.
It's a wildlife enthusiast's dream, basically. A front row seat to evolution just happening.
And the diversity doesn't stop with the wildlife either. This source paints a picture of just stunning natural landscapes across the island.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from the dense, humid rainforests you find in the east to the stark, really arid canyons and almost desert-like areas down south.
Wow, quite the contrast.
Big contrast. And then you've got beautiful beaches, coral reefs up north. Great for coastal stuff.
Right. But maybe the most iconic image, the one that really jumps off the page from this source,
has to be the Avenue of the Baobabs.
That's the one, near Morondava, out on the west coast.
Yeah, the source flags it specifically.
Yeah.
Incredibly photogenic. Apparently, it's magical at sunset, with those long, surreal shadows stretching out.
It just sounds like the kind of place that makes you feel like you've, landed on another world.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond the natural wonders, this exploration also touches on the island's culture and history, which sounds really rich.
And here's where you see that unique position reflected again. The source points out this fascinating blend, African, Asian, even some European influences, all woven together in the Malagasy identity.
Interesting.
So you can, explore ancient traditions, see these bustling zebu markets, zebu, those humped cattle you see there.
Oh, right.
And really experience the vibrant local food and dance.
And if you're looking for adventure, it sounds like Madagascar delivers. Big time.
Oh, yeah.
The source talks about things like whale watching off the coast, challenging hikes through the national parks, snorkeling in these crystal clear waters, even canoeing through, like, limestone formations.
Sounds incredible. It positions Madagascar as a real playground for anyone who loves the outdoors.
Definitely.
So when you put it all together, the unique life, these varied landscapes, the rich culture, all the adventure, it's really clear why this source positions Madagascar as, truly in a class of its own.
Okay, so with all those incredible reasons to visit, where specifically does this source suggest you should start exploring? It highlights several top spots. We already mentioned the Avenue of the Baobabs, right, near Morondava, that must-see photo op.
Definitely. Then there's Isolo National Park. That's down south, often called Madagascar's Grand Canyon. The source notes its dramatic sandstone formations, these deep canyons you can hike into, and even natural swimming pools. So it's a mix of striking geology and, places to cool off.
Nice. And for wildlife lovers, especially lemur fans.
And to see Mantadia National Park over in the east. The source flags it as a real haven, specifically calls it the best place to see the Indri.
Ah, the big one.
Yeah, the largest living lemur, known for that incredible call. And they also recommend night walks there, apparently, to spot nocturnal creatures.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, what about the coast?
Right. Shifting to the coast, Nosy Be, off the northwest coast, it's presented as like a tropical island paradise.
Okay, I can picture it.
The source mentions luxury resorts there, fantastic diving in clear waters. positions it as a popular spot for beach lovers or, maybe a romantic getaway.
Sounds lovely. Any other big parks?
Yes, heading back inland, but still on the west side, Singidibimaraha National Park. This one's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Oh, wow. What's special about it?
It's known for these dramatic, almost like knife-edge limestone pinnacles, the Singi, and getting around parts of it involves unique things like walking on hanging bridges. The source notes it also has unique cave systems and specific endemic species that have adapted just to this weird terrain.
Incredible. And the capital. Most trips go through there, I assume?
Yeah, Antananarivo, or Tana, as it's often called. The source describes it as, a vibrant city, a blend of history, colonial architecture, lively markets, museums. It's often the start and end point for trips.
Makes sense. Anything else, destination-wise?
One more area highlighted is down in the southwest, the coastal towns of Ayafati and Tulir, mentioned for beaches, fishing villages, but also their closeness to the spiny forest. And the source points out this ecosystem specifically for its bizarre, almost alien-looking plants, adapted to really dry conditions.
A spiny forest, that sounds unique too.
It's just amazing how much variety is packed onto one island, isn't it? From lush rainforest to spiny desert and these dramatic karst landscapes.
Truly. So, if this is sparking your wanderlust, the source does give some practical info on planning a trip. Getting there primarily flying into Ivado International Airport, that's TNR, in Antananarivo.
Right.
The source notes it connects Madagascar to Europe, Africa, other international spots.
And once you're there, getting around, it can involve domestic flights or hiring cars, depending on where you need to go. The source also mentions that resources like FlightNHotels.com are presented as tools you could use for comparing prices, booking flights, hotels, rental cars, that sort of thing.
Okay, good to know. And places to stay.
Seems like there's a pretty good range, according to the source. Everything from luxury resorts, maybe a Nosy Be, like we mentioned, to eco-lodges near the parks, like Annecy.
Right.
And also more budget-friendly guest houses, especially in the capital, Tana.
So, options for different styles and budgets?
Yeah. And the source suggests that tools like the one mentioned before, FlightNHotels.com, can also be used specifically for finding accommodation. Lets you sort by price, rating, amenities, check availability, read reviews, the usual booking stuff. Presented as an option in the source material.
Gotcha. Okay, beyond the logistics, what about other highlights? Food always interests me.
Me too. And Malagasy cuisine sounds incredibly interesting. It reflects those blended influences we talked about, African, French, Asian.
So what should you try?
Well, the source points out a few must-try dishes. One is romazaba. That's a hearty meat stew offered with leafy greens.
Sounds warming.
Yeah. And ravitoto, that's shredded cassava leaves cooked with pork.
Different.
There's also mofo gassi. These are sweet rice cakes. Sound perfect for breakfast or a snack.
Ooh, nice.
And naturally, with all that coastline, tons of fresh seafood, plus tropical fruits and those famous zebu steaks.
Zebu steaks, right. Sounds like quite a culinary adventure, too. And souvenirs, if you want to bring something back.
The source suggests quite a few things. Hand-carved wooden items. Colorful textiles.
Okay.
Local essential oils and spices. And even gemstones. Madagascar is known for sapphires and rubies.
Oh, really? Didn't know that. Where would you find these?
Markets, mostly. The source mentions markets in Antananarivo and the coastal towns as good spots for shopping.
Okay, good tips. So, finally, any essential practical travel tips from the source?
Yeah, a few key ones. Best time to visit is generally the dry season. That's roughly May to October.
Why then?
Well, that's usually best for wildlife viewing, for hiking, and the beach conditions are generally better. The wet season, November to April, it's beautiful and lush, but travel can get difficult in some areas. Roads might be impassable.
Okay. Good to keep in mind. What else?
Visa required. The source says it can often be obtained on arrival or maybe online beforehand. Check that, obviously. Health precautions are important. Definitely bring insect repellent. Malaria is a risk. And look into recommended vaccinations like typhoid, hepatitis A, maybe others. Malaria prophylaxis, too.
Standard travel health stuff for the region, basically.
Pretty much. Currency is the Malagasy Ariary MGA, and carrying cash is important, especially once you're outside the main hotels or cities.
Okay. And language.
Malagasy and French are widely spoken. English is less common. So the source suggests learning a few basic phrases in Malagasy or French can really go a long way.
Always a good idea anywhere, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These practical points really round out the picture the source presents. Gives you a solid foundation for, understand the place, maybe planning a trip.
So wrapping this up, what does taking this deep dive into the source material about Madagascar really mean for you, the listener?
Well, it means gaining, I think, a much richer understanding of one of the planet's most unique corners, full of those aha moments about biodiversity, evolution, and just this incredible mix of culture and landscape. Yeah, we've tried to distill the key insights from this exploration we looked at, covering everything from the just unbelievable wildlife and the diverse environment to the cultural blend and those practical planning tips. The source certainly paints a picture of a pretty magical destination.
And just to reiterate, based on the material, the exploration concludes by pointing out that resources like FlightNHotels.com exist as a tool you could potentially use to help book your travel arrangements.
Right. But, all this discussion about uniqueness, about endemism, it raises an important question, I think.
What's that?
Given how much of the life here exists only on this island, the result of millions of years of isolation, what do you think is our biggest responsibility when we even consider visiting such a unique and maybe fragile place?